Case summary. Owner is a new player in the property development industry, but the company's main shareholders and management have had experience in housing project development. The owner, O, entered into contract with contractor A, CA, and contractor B, CB, for the construction of CVD building, its maiden vertical development project. Owner has several building projects lined up for bidding after the CVD project. The first contract A1 was between O and CA was entered into on October 6, 1989 for a lump sum price of $20 million, entailed the construction of the building's 8 floors plus a basement, a penthouse, water tank and elevator machine room above the roof deck of the 8th floor. The completion time for contract C1 was 285 days or not later than August 2, 1990. If no time extensions were granted. Contractor CA is a general building contractor with A category. It has been in the construction business for only 5 years but has already completed 3 MRBs, a few small site development projects and has 2 ongoing projects as well. CA's owners have combined experience of 100 years. The second contract A2 in the form of construction by administration between O and CB was entered into on August 25, 1990 while work covered by A1 was still in progress. Contract A2 entailed O supplying all materials while CB supplying labor and equipment for the civil and structural works of 3 additional floors, 9th, 10th, and 11th, below the penthouse and elevator machine room on a cost-plus fixed fee basis. The fixed fee was based on 15% of the estimated costs of contract A2. CB did not provide for any schedule and date of completion. CB was a relatively smaller contractor than CA. As a result, had lower overheads. As their resources were limited, they preferred to undertake projects either on cost-plus or where materials are OSM. Some of CB's owners and O's owners were golf buddies. This is likely how they were given contract CB as brake for them to enter into O's market. Upon completion of the 8th floor by CA, O handed over the site to CB, saying CB will now have to assume responsibility for the entire building. CB refused. CA also objected to the contract of O with CB for the additional floors as it will prolong their schedule, increase their overheads and their risks. While work under contract A1 was in progress, changes and extra works were undertaken by CA on the basis of verbal instructions of owner's representative and minutes of meeting but without formal approval by O. On June 21, 1990, O terminated all working relationships with CA and took over the completion of the building by giving the remaining works to CB. O claimed that it never authorized any additional or extra works that CA alleged to have performed. O and CA blamed each other for the delay in the construction and for breach of the contracts. CA claimed that O failed and refused to pay progress billings, compelling CA to stop work, and put a mechanic's lien on the project. O, on the other hand, alleged that it paid all of its monetary obligations as they fell due and withheld payments only when CA failed to perform its obligations and to cover for liquidated damages. Meanwhile, CB's work on A2 was put on hold while the disputes remained unresolved. The prolonged duration was slowly eating into its fixed fee, and CB was planning to claim for prolongation costs to O. However, doing so may mean this will be their last project with O. CA was planning to file a case against O in CIAC to resolve the dispute. If the issues progress to an arbitration case, CB will become a party to the dispute as well. However, before CIAC will accept a case for dispute resolution, parties are advised to attempt to resolve their conflicts through negotiations. If negotiation fails, mediation is recommended. Only after these remedies have been exhausted can the parties elevate the case to CIAC. Realizing the high cost and time consumed in an arbitration proceeding, the parties, O, CA and CB agreed to enter into negotiation first. Some of the issues to be resolved are: 1. Whether or not CA incurred delay, and as such, is liable for liquidated damages as well as interest on the loan of O. 2. Whether or not CA is entitled to extra, additional works. 3. Whether or not O should pay for these. 4. Whether or not O is entitled to claim for deficiencies, unperformed work, and cost overruns of steel bars and cement. 5. Whether or not CA is entitled to claims for unpaid accomplishment. 6. Whether or not CB is now responsible for performance of the work including that of work of CA having taken over the building. 7. Whether or not CB is entitled to adjustment of its fixed fee as a result of the prolonged schedule. Assumptions. 1. Consider that the design of the building from ground level up to 11th floor are completed. 2. Consider that the contract includes clauses regarding the illegal termination of services without valid justifications. 3. Every variation order and/or additional work requires a written notice to proceed from the owner before any work is to be implemented. 4. Contract termination if there is a breach of contract. Contractor entitlement for issued additional work by the employer or its authorized technical representative. Objectives. 1. Derive to a win-win agreement that contractor CA will have liabilities in liquidated damages and interest on a loan to our company incurred during the delay of contractor. Likewise, CA contractor is entitled to extra, additional works that has been agreed upon verbal instructions by our representative engineers. 2. To agree to contractor CA's terms for deficiencies, unperformed work, and cost overruns of steel bars and cement will not be claimed by owner provided contractor CA is not to pursue claims for unpaid accomplishment. 3. All purchased materials and types of equipment intended for the project purchased, rented by contractor CA will be jointly audited by owner and contractor CA. The final audit will result in a finalized list of amount payable due to contractor CA. 4. Emphasize to contractor CA that unfinished activity in the building should not be paid and affirm the termination of the contract. 5. Ensure that contractor CB takes over the unfinished activity. 6. Emphasize to contractor CB that since the contract is on fixed fee contract and no project schedule and completion date, contractor CB shall make no claim to added compensation for the delay of schedule and continue the contract with amendments. 7. Agreeing to these terms will guarantee that contractor CA and CB shall be included in the future pooling of bids for several large projects that are lined up. Best case scenario. 1. Contractor CA will agree that liabilities and liquidated damages including interest loans to our company will be recomputed and compensated. Likewise, the extra, additional works that our company's representative instructed and detailed in minutes of meetings will also be compensated. 2. Contractor CA will agree to our offer in unperformed work. Cost overruns of steel bars and cement will not be compensated provided contractor CA is not entitled to claim for unpaid accomplishment, and all materials that were purchased will be given to owner with corresponding payment as determined by joint inventory audits of stakeholders. 3. Contractor CB will agree to take over the unfinished activity executed by contractor CA. 4. Contractor CB will agree that no compensation for a prolonged schedule and continue the contracts with additional amendments for the activity they have taken over. Worst case scenario, 1. The negotiations to contractor CA failed and come into deadlock because contractor CA still insisted that they are not liable for liquidated damages as well as interest loan payments because of early contract termination. 2. The negotiations with contractor CA failed and they claim that they are not entitled to pay for deficiencies, unperformed work, and cost overruns of steel bars and cement. Likewise, contractor CA contend to claim for unfinished works since our company, owner, terminated the contract. 3. Contractor CB did not agree to take over the remaining portions of unfinished works and insisted on the adjustment of compensation for their fixed fee as a result of the prolonged schedule. 4. Company, owner, negotiation team will walk away to both negotiations with contractor CA and contractor CB, end the negotiation and let the Construction Industry Arbitration Commission, CIAC, decide on the disputed matter. Best alternative to a negotiated agreement, BATNA. 1. If the win-win agreement to contractor CA does not materialize, the best possible alternative resolution is that contractor CA must agree to conduct a joint inventory audit with the owner's representative for whatever remaining cost on available purchased materials in the stockroom warehouse for the project. All items, equipment must be compensated through a deduction on the liquidated damages and interest of loans since contractor CA did not complete the project on time as outlined in the contract clause. 2. If the negotiation failed and the objective was not met, the owner's negotiation team will offer an alternative resolution to guarantee that contractor CA and contractor CB will be guaranteed negotiated contracts in the succeeding lineup of future projects. The negotiating strategy. The owner's negotiation team came up with collaborative or cooperative strategy, as our aim is to have win-win solutions. We utilized this strategy because we believe this is the best way to negotiate into an agreement that both contractor CA, contractor CB and our team will agree to. Each company will achieve its goals with its best interest in mind and arrive at an amicable agreement as well as the project's success. In this strategy, we will negotiate separately with contractor CA and contractor CB. First, to meet with the contractor CA and discuss the best possible win-win solution as listed in our objectives. If the negotiation fails, the worst-case scenario is applied and will offer the BATNA process to ensure that contractor CA will agree in the negotiation table. In contractor CB's case, we will negotiate in different schedules with contractor CA, whereas the main objectives are listed in items 5 and 6. The respondents negotiator CA table arrangement between owner's negotiator and contractor CA. The respondents negotiator CB. Table arrangement between owner's negotiator and contractor CB.